Hi everyone. Um, Hi everyone. Please comment in the comment section those who can see me. Am I visible and am I audible? Just please confirm and comment so that I can start with the session. Good evening everyone. Please comment in the comment section if I'm visible and audible clearly, please. Or else I can't start this session. So it would be very generous if you comment in the comment section and tell me if I'm visible and audible clearly. Please, am I visible right now? Please comment in the comment section whether I'm visible and audible clearly. Okay, okay. So let me, here is just two viewers. Let me start this after I get more viewers. Thank you, Shanchita Mukherjee. Welcome to the seminar. We'll start in few minutes. Okay. Hi, everyone. We Today I'm going to speak on the key area and focus and development of chemical engineering students. Okay. So, thank you, Maitri, for welcoming me. And today we're going to speak from a student's point of view as well as working in this sector for last 1.5 years. What I have gathered over the whole time, I'm going to share with you from a design engineering point of view and as well as a student's point of view. So let me start. Going to my introduction, I'm Anvesha Mukherjee. I have passed my chemical engineering and did MTech from Jadavpur University. And for past 1.5 years, I have been working in regional management services in design engineering and R&D. And it's been an extremely well uh, experience over the time that I've gathered, and from coming from a very means today, after all these sessions that already have happened, these webinars that have already taken place, here I am today with the least experience. Okay, so I have the least experience, but as a student just passed out, I can obviously share with you the way a student from a chemical engineering background have to prepare themselves to get into the design engineering and to sustain themselves in this design engineering firm. So, coming to that, what I would start with is the key area of enhancements that we have to from the basics. Okay, so I'll start with the very basic thing that we have to take care of when we are talking about engineering as a whole. So, from the very basics of chemical engineering that we start with is the aptitude for chemistry and mathematics. So for engineering every student, but from joining people who are joining chemical engineering, I'm very sure they are very they obviously like the subject chemistry, and hence they choose this chemical engineering sector. But this chemistry and mathematics together, they actually prepared you for the next level of engineering. Then with that, in our 4 year courses, we should also take care of AutoCAD. We should also take care of bit of general knowledge of AutoCAD. With that, we have to be have analytical skills. With commercial analytical skills, for analytical skills you will get to all the subjects that we cover in engineering. Like for examples, if we start with the subjects, then that comes with chemical process technology. When we are doing chemical process technology, we come across different uh, process flow diagrams of different industries, and I'm very sure that when we go through in this 4 years these process technologies, we normally what we do, we learn it by heart. But that doesn't happens like when you are going into a design engineering firm. What happens is, more likely we have to understand what is behind of using each instrument for these process flow diagrams. Then comes mechanical operations, which we also have to take care when we are going to a design engineering firm. Because when uh, hi Motushi, good evening, a very good evening. What happens when we are going for stoichiometry calculations? These areas are we normally cover, like in design engineering we normally cover, and in subjects as well they are also present. So I'm going to first talk about the subjects that are already taught in the 4 years, and you're going to get it from, like, you're going to get it means you're going to get the idea of these subjects into the design engineering form. So first is basic engineering of chemistry and mathematics, chemical process technology. Stoichiometric calculation is very important because all the subjects process calculations are being derived from the normal stoichiometric calculations that we get from chemistry as well as chemical engineering. We learn in both. Next comes mechanical operation. What type of crushers we use, that is very important, because the crushers that we are selecting, that we're going to affect the whole process of grinding and everything that we're going to do in the design or in the industrial sectors. Then we come to heat and mass transfer. In every industry, in the two projects that I've worked with, heat and mass calculation is very important. So when we are studying through the 4 years of course, it is very important that we go through these subjects very well. Next comes chemical reaction engineering, which is also very important, and instrumentation, dynamics, and control, which gives you a more vast idea of what you're going to do for the next for in the engineering design engineering firm. Next is feasibility report. That is a feasibility report in the 4 years of study. In the third year, I guess, the feasibility report comes for a industry, when we have to create this feasibility report and take into account the commercial perspective. Being a chemical engineer, you always also have to have the idea of commercial feasibility, means how much cost is being incurred. We have to decide on how to reduce the cost for a certain industry, and we have to think of it and create a path or create a reaction or select the exact equipments where you can reduce down the cost for the company, because that is very important. Next comes plant design report and final year's dissertation. That comes also a very important part. Whatever dissertation you are doing at the final year, that is also very important when we are considering the further progress of what you're going to venture. Being a chemical engineer, I always think there are process design from every student's point of view. In India, we have seen mostly there are petrochemicals and chemical engineers who venture into like different industries. Like being a chemical engineer actually is a wide range of industries that you are given, like from you can go to pharma industries, you can go to petrochemical industries, you can go to any industries as site or technical help or any engineer at site. But from a woman's point of view, I can tell you, from in India, as a site engineer, it is a very least amount of students that are taken into as a site engineer in chemical firms, now in petrochemical industry as well, because of some safety issues. So what we are, people who are studying chemical engineering from a woman's point of view, or somebody, it is more you would get a more opportunity in design engineering than in site engineering. So design engineering is such a part where you have the knowledge, and also you can use it in a more sophisticated way and see the constructions of these designs erected in front of you, and you can sit in your office or in your place where you can design accordingly and submit it, and you can see that ongoing project in front of you. So next I would come to certain areas like where you have these are the things that I've discussed is more of like the subjects that we already know of. But there are subjects that we do not like, when we do not come across when going through the 4 years of course. Some of these are like the various process equipments used in onshore, offshore refinery, petrochemicals plants, diagrams like PFDs of plants. Okay, so these are certain terms that I have been accustomed to after I ventured into this design sector. Previously, when I was in the 4 years of course study, we never had this idea of what we were mostly taught, the very bookish subjects. But going into venturing into the industry, will come across certain terms and will come across certain subjects that are completely new to you. Like what I said, the process equipments used, these are very important. Choosing of the equipments, then types of offshore and onshore platforms and their operations, that is also very important, which we are normally not told in the books. What we require is a more like we have to be more part of a project where you can understand what is the offshore and onshore platform and their operations. Then unit operations of refineries, petrochemicals, offshore and onshore plants. Next comes mode of transportation, storage of everything, like whatever you are preparing. These are the more important things that are taken into consideration when you are doing a design engineering project. Next come plot plan, equipment layout, general GA drawings, isometric drawings, elevation drawings, understanding and how to use them, and extract data used for the process design work. This is a very uh, a sector which we are never told of when we are doing a 4 years of course study. But these I have come across when I started my career in design engineering. These are some of the important isometric drawings, elevation drawings. These are very GA drawings. These are very important part of a design engineering project. Next comes legend and symbols and process flow diagrams. As I said, for the subject we had as CPT, like process flow diagram, chemical process technology. That subject we were told of morely. We understood the subject. We learned those every industry, the flow diagram, and we represented it in our copy. But what we have to learn here is the legends that we are using and symbols. That's very important when you are selecting or drawing a process flow diagram. Then comes piping and instrumentation diagram, that is PNIDs. You have to know that as well. Then safety shutdown flow diagrams development. These are also some things that we have to take care of. And next that comes line sizing, liquid gas, two phase, stream, utility, etc. This is also a phase, like these line sizing, which is also being taught, not taught in our as a 4 year course of study. So when you are going into the industries, these comes into play, and these are certain things that are very important for a design engineering's perspective. Because for this whole of this course we are not accustomed to these type of languages or that are being used regularly in a chemical process. So when you are going through these subjects, you will come across that these are very important for a design engineering perspective. Then comes pressure drop or hydraulic calculation and control valves and restriction orifice sizing. These they will help get the help of the mechanical engineers over here. The whatever wherever you are working will get that help. But for a chemical engineer, you have to have all the knowledge of the mechanical operations as well. Next comes centrifugal pipe sizing and positive displacement pipe sizing. This is another important sector for a design engineering, is the selection of pumps. Next come pressure safety valve and relief valve sizing. Means these valves and pumps, these are two mechanical help that you will get, but you have to, from a process engineer's point of view, you have to also have a knowledge of this. Next comes separator sizing, two phase and three phase. So the separator sizing, two phase and three phase, these are also some important issues that you should take care of while you are doing design engineering. Design engineering design engineering, when you are doing this design engineering. So all of these what I have discussed till now, that we haven't had this idea when we were studying this 4 years. Okay, so I also did not have, while my 4 years course study, I did not know all these things. After coming to the design sector, after having my training, I have accumulated these terms and got used to these terms after these all these uh, what steps, you may say. Next, some things that are also important, that is vessel sizing. Vessel sizing is also one of the calculations that you have to take care of as being a design engineer. Or then centrifugal turbo compressor sizing and reciprocating compressor sizing. These are the sizings you have to also take care of being a process engineer. Next comes line list and equipment list of development. With this line list and equipment list of development, these are the sectors where a process engineer is very important in a project. Okay, cause and effect of diagram development, shutdown logic, and control diagram development. This is also instrumentation process where you will get the help of the instrumentation. But you have to have a complete knowledge of what is going on, like what you are designing, because though they will going to help you, but they will not tell you everything. You have to know the whole of the engineering from every perspective, like from an electrical perspective, from an instrumentation perspective, from a mechanical perspective, from a civil perspective. You have to amalgamate it and create a process, or create a process design for from a chemical point of view. Next come process equipment, data sheet development, piping, material specification studies. These are also some of the important things that you have to consider while you are doing the design engineering. Next is process design, basic documents and its development. To know the design codes, shell and tube heat exchanger designing, or like scrubber designing. Next these are some of the designings that you have to consider. So what this is like, we have already discussed that these are some of the subjects that I have come across after I have joined this design engineering company. Before that, when we were doing the 4 years of course, we were not told, or we were not taught for all these subjects. So what happens over the time when we start joining a design engineer, what we want to join a design engineering company, it is very important to have an idea of all these things. So this training is very important for before we join a design engineering firm. You will get here we have need to have a value added training course. Like normally I had my value added training course after mtech from rigel management services, but that was very fruitful for me, and then I joined the company. But these value added training course is what you need for the insight of a design industry. You have to have the insight of the design industry from a point like where you get the idea of what is what I talked about right now. It may sound a complete from a different world, but what happens when you have to know these by when you do a training. When you do your training, you have to, you get the idea of what is going on, what you have the idea of what is going on. So finally, like wrapping it whole up, if you really want to know, if you have any questions, you can further put the questions in my comment section. I will answer those, and there will be a link of the form for the registration. And if you want to check out the website, that is www.rigelgroup.in, where you get the training application form, and you can fill it up, and we will contact you later. And any further questions you can put in the comment sections, I'll answer that. Any questions I would like to uh, so here, yes, thank you. So I guess there is no more questions. So here's for today. We will have in this webinar series, we'll have more people from more experienced speakers to speak on different sectors of the engineering. Please follow this channel. And okay, this is a like is an ideal time for internship. Actually, from a design engineering point of view, I'll definitely say every semester from second year, every semester is ideal for a design engineering. Every that the time we get, like the semester break we get, that is the ideal time for you to join and do the design engineering internship, where you will be helped for this 4 years, or the 3 years you will be helped. And for there after that, when you apply to other design engineering firms, that will be completely fruitful for you. And yes, I guess there is no more questions. So yes, so please follow Thank you. So please follow this channel and subscribe this channel. And if you have, please go through our previous webinars that have taken place and also the videos. And you can also watch these live sessions later as well. And please subscribe this channel and follow the webinar for more details. Thank you. Bye. Good night.